What's up, everybody? It's Evan Ross. I just finished doing Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored, and it was an amazing time. I got to talk to one of my brothers, Jason Lee, and yeah, we talk about everything, and it was actually really incredible. You're gonna get to see a lot of stuff that you probably didn't know about, and inside on the show. Ashley and Evan, as well as stuff about the album and how all these things got created, and even stuff about family and everything. So yeah, check it out.
What up, everybody? This is Jason Lee, and this is Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored.
I'm Jocelyn. I'm the managing editor at Hollywood Unlocked.
And I'm Rosa Acosta.
Back for like her 10th show. And we have the one and only Evan Ross in the building.
Woo!
What's up?
So we've been doing this now 2 years. We've had everybody up here, and it took us 2 years to get you here. So welcome.
Yeah, man.
All right. So Evan is a really close friend. We've known each other for a while. I actually looked since 2006.
Yeah.
Is it 2006? Wait, ATL was 2006.
ATL was 2006.
Okay.
God, that's been a minute.
So last night I said, do you remember the day we met? Do you remember?
I feel like I do, but maybe you know a different time.
Okay. So the Fugees reunited in Hollywood.
Yes.
Outdoor. And Marcus Polk was standing there and he says, hey, because they had shut everything down to this one area, and Evan was standing there and the police were there, whatever. And so they were like, yo, because I knew the cop that was there. And they were like, can you get that kid in? I'm like, yeah, of course, whatever. So you came in, you were just like, you had hella energy and you was just moving all around. I'm like, who's this little motherfucker? and Marcus behind your back kept saying like, yo, he's a really important dude. I'm like, okay, but like, I don't know it, but he's cool.
He's mad hyper.
So he says, yeah, I'm having a movie premiere if you guys want to come. I'm like, a movie premiere? I just got to Hollywood. I didn't know shit about movie premieres. So I go to the ATL movie premiere and it's a big fucking deal. Everybody's there. And Evan, and so the after party, I couldn't get to Evan because it was just Will Smith. Everybody was there, and Tyra Banks. And I remember going to the after party, and Evan said, "Hey man, thanks for coming and support. You want to meet my mom?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he walks me up
like,
the
who's your
stairs,
mom?
and it's fucking Diana Ross. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. That's how
I actually remember that now.
That was very embarrassing. I had Jack and Coke and like a plate of food, and it was just not the right.
And your hands were greasy?
No, but you just don't want to meet an icon where you like look like a drunk and just too much. But it just showed like the humility and how like you were just so regular.
That was then. This is now. No, I'm just kidding.
You're still the same.
No, it's true. No, but I do remember. You know what's funny is I remember that just even that whole time I was so excited just to be in a movie, like even on a set. Like you could ask me to do anything. I was like, yeah. Yeah, I'm down.
That was your first movie?
Yeah, it was my first movie. I turned 16 on that movie.
Wait, so were you like a trained actor at that point, or you just acted?
Yeah, no, I did a lot of training. I did training for years until I actually did that project.
Yeah, the movie was great. It was really good, and it was well attended. You guys had a lot of love. Like I remember that was one of the first movie premiere. Well, I think it was the first movie premiere I've been to. But since then, like where big stars came out to support that project, which now I think it's a hood classic.
It's a hood classic. We didn't know what to expect, really. We were just all kind of excited to be there, but it turned in, and that was like T.I. too was like, it was like huge for him to be doing that.
So you didn't know when you were doing it that it was going to be a classic?
No, we didn't. I was just happy to be on a movie set. I didn't know anything.
Okay, but the movie that you did that made me actually cry was Life Support. Like that was so fucked up. Life Support.
That was a darker project.
That was you and Queen Latifah on HBO. You caught AIDS.
Yes, and it was Nelson George's project. Who it was written about his sister, who had HIV.
So it was based on a true story.
Based on a true story, almost more than based. I think it was actually just fully. Yeah.
But that was the first time you worked with Dana, right? Because now you guys are on Star.
Yeah, that was the first time we worked together. She was amazing to me then, and we had the best time ever. And now we're I hadn't worked with her until again on Star.
So in Life Support, when you were acting with Tracy, like, how were you all? Because even though she was your sister in the film, it's crazy because you didn't see it as Evan Ross and Tracy Ellis Ross. You literally could see the characters. Is that just good acting, or?
I think it's good acting. Yeah, we were definitely playing characters, and I didn't actually get to see her performance until I watched the movie. Because we really didn't shoot scenes together. And I had gotten the movie. I had auditioned for it with Nelson George, and had already been thinking about my sister, and they were like, "Oh, this makes total sense,"
Okay, so you come from a famous, one of the most famous, if not the most famous, female singer in our history, Diana Ross.
Yeah. I agree.
So do you have the pressure? Do you feel the pressure? Because I've never. Let's just go back. First of all, this feels like an interview, and I'm just talking to Evan. I've never asked.
But
you,
it's still we even have talked about this stuff. Well, we may have talked about it once.
Once I remember a conversation.
hammered.
We had drank a little too much. But like we've never talked about it. So like, did you ever feel the pressure being her son?
Yeah. Not at a young age, but I think now in the industry, I think just being conscious of what you say, and also just in general, I've watched somebody who's done it so amazingly, and has really had built such an incredible career that you have to be conscious of it. And I think a lot of times there's a pressure there. You can't just decide to do whatever you want. You can, but you also have to do it in a way that you feel like it's gonna, be good for your family and all the whole thing.
But your mother, she's an actress and a singer, and you're an actor and a singer. Did you ever feel like the pressure? Because at some point, I'm sure you were Diana Ross's son, and even though you still are her son in real life, there was a point where you made your own name.
Yeah, I think the acting part was actually easier. I think now that I'm singing and doing the music, I think that there's a little bit more pressure there. I think wanting it to be perfect and wanting it to be right, and having to tell myself that it's okay regardless, and this is something that I love to do, is a thing. It's something I deal with all the time. I didn't realize how much I dealt with it until I was actually doing it, and I was like, man, I put a lot of pressure on myself in general.
So, but why?
Because I want it to be right. And I don't even know. I don't. I think you just do. I think that's just part of it. I think you want to be the best, and I think also having someone who's I feel like it's like had the most incredible career. It's a lot. Yeah, sometimes.
So when we were at your house a long time ago, you played some songs that you could hear Michael Jackson in the music. Did that music ever come out or no?
Oh, those songs?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. And there were songs that.
And the songs were amazing.
There were songs that he had done more melodies on. He hadn't finished writing it. And at the time he was here, and he was sending me songs. I remember he played me one song, and he knew I was I was doing music, and he was like, I was like, I think it's amazing. He was like, it's okay, it's all right. He's like, do you want to do it? You can have it. And I was like, yeah, I'll have it. And then with his passing, it never really.
So Michael was your godfather.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. I think he was a godfather to a bunch of people, but more than anything, he was just he was a close family member to me. We were like somewhat like brothers. You know what I mean? I think my mom was kind of like a mother figure to him as well. Mm-hmm.
So when people, are you ever sensitive to the people speaking on Michael Jackson and or his relationship with your mom? Because I know like a lot of people thought. I mean, we knew she was like a mother figure to him, but people also thought like he loved her. I think so. I think it was a lot of things. I think he did. I know he loved her, and I think he also maybe was in some sort of way. My mom always says no, it wasn't, but I feel like he was. There was so much about my mother he loved. And I think some of the what he had told me was a lot of the most amazing times he spent as a child was always with my mother. She didn't have him working or doing anything like that. She just wanted him to have fun, She talked about vacations and everything. So. So when are you gonna put the music out? And the reason why I asked is because there's
our
two
EP's
people.
out.
No, I'm talking about the music with you and the music that I heard back in the day. That
I don't think I'll put any of the Michael stuff out.
But see, the reason why I asked,
because it wasn't Michael. It was more like he wanted me to take the melody that he did and redo it. It wasn't for me to use his vocal or anything like that. And I don't really agree with, not that I disagree with it, but I don't really like the idea that people can kind of take his music and stuff that wasn't done and put it out. Because I feel like he was such a perfectionist that if he wanted it to be out, he would have put it out. And I think that, there's something, he had so much work, but he wanted things to be perfect. And I think a lot of the stuff that's been coming out is not his exactly what he would like to be putting out.
Do you draw whose work ethic do you draw from the most? Him, your mom, just friends? Is it your own? Because I know like you've been active in a lot of films and music for a long time.
I think it's my mom, because my mom's able to have an amazing career, but she's also an amazing mother, and she was able to raise kids, and that's a big focus of hers, and it didn't take her away from that. And I think loving the music and loving your career and doing all that is amazing, but being obsessed with it can be a problem, And I think being able to be a human and live in this world that everybody else is in, you have to find a way to have a reality in there, you know?
It's funny you say that because I had said on the show, so Floyd, who's been a mentor to me, said, you're not going to be as successful as your fullest potential until you're consumed with it. But I remember, like, when I think of you, as how successful you've been, jumping on trampolines, being able to just enjoy life, like you enjoy life. How do you find the balance? Because right now, I'm not finding balance. Like right now, I'm consumed.
I struggle with it too, though. It is something I deal with every day. I mean, you struggle with finding time for all of the stuff, but I think it's just reminding yourself of it because it is important. You can be fully in your work and wanting it to be great, and then have a way to turn it off so that you can actually have a real life, because it's too much and it takes away from reality. You get stuck in this whole thing that's not really real.
I mean, I was telling the story. I remember just walking and looking at the sky, and I had to stop for a minute because I had forgot the last time I looked up at a cloud.
Yeah, I know.
Flying in them or something, you know? I don't know. It's really weird because I don't know. I think there's a constant pressure to always be doing something. I remember when we went to Portland to visit you, when you were filming the movie with the girl who played the orphan. And I remember you were there and you were just like, I'm here doing a project, but you weren't, I don't think you were as excited about acting at the time. I think you were just like, I'm here to make my agent happy or something. You were doing it to make somebody else happy.
Well, I love the project. It wasn't that. It was that I was going back to back from movie to movie, and I actually at the time, that's when I kind of was trying to start focusing on the music. And I don't feel like anybody understood that. They were like, "What do you mean? You just got to go do it." And I did like the project. That was the reason why I went. Actually,
I think it was more of like where you were in life. It had nothing to do with the project.
No, yeah, it was. It was a weird time, and I felt pulled. I was like, I'm sitting in Portland right now when I could be doing what I really want to be getting done and creatively, but nobody was interested in the fact that I was focusing on my music. They were like, you're doing great in the movie industry, so focus on that. You know what I mean?
Do you think that having kids has helped you kind of like love life more? Because they do love like the simple things, and we kind of like forget that as we get older. So maybe having your daughter now, it's like one of the reasons.
Well, 100%. That's probably the biggest reason. And I was gonna say that earlier is that again, I get stuck in the same thing you get stuck into, because I like to dive in, and I dive in so hard that then I forget all the other stuff. And I think having children definitely gave me perspective, on what's important. And I got that reminded me of what my mother did, and I was like, it was amazing, because I now see how it is a hard thing to do, to be bouncing back and forth. And as much as my mom was working, I never felt like she wasn't there. And I was like, I want to make sure that we do that, both me and Ashley. She gets mom guilt like crazy. She's like, and we go away for a day, she's like, I gotta get back. I'm like,
Okay, so talking about your mom, when you're upbringing, were you raised? Your mom was active, because I mean, she had a very busy career, music, movies.
She was beyond active.
But did you have a bunch of nannies, or did you just was mom there?
We had nannies. I mean, we had to have nannies. I mean, if people don't have nannies, it's unbelievable.
Do you have a nanny?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how would we both be working?
Right.
The kids just hanging out the house by themselves.
So Cardi was having a conversation with Chris and Kim about raising culture. And she was like, yo, I'm getting no sleep. This, that. And so Kim goes, well, you don't have a nanny? And the funniest thing was how they, I think, judged her, because Cardi was like, no, I mean, it's just me. And they were like, nah, you got to get a nurse.
You gotta at least have to have your mom. Usually a lot of like Latin girls, like that's what we have. We have our mom there.
That she has her mom.
Right.
Yeah, well, and we're there all the time. Ashley's like barely ever leaves her side, but you want to make sure that there is somebody looking out as well. You know what I mean? Especially if you can.
Right.
But in the beginning, we didn't really. In the beginning, when she was like a baby, we really didn't have anybody, and those nights are crazy. Thank God I never slept much. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't realize that I was going to be up every single hour.
Okay, so now you're married to Ashley Simpson Ross. Mm-hmm. So when you get married to somebody who has their own money, do you talk about bank accounts, or do you just say, look, you just keep what you got over there, and because you're rich?
Right.
Do we talk about bank accounts?
You both have money.
Yeah, do we talk about bank?
But you're fucking rich.
We don't talk. We
severely
we
rich.
talk about all that stuff, man.
Wait, you're so rich. It's like you just walked in right now with these fucking shoes. What are those again?
The Fendis.
Okay, Fendis.
They're moon boots.
Last night I take my little broke Balenciagas out and I spill orange juice on my shoes and his shoes. Usually when niggas like me get some shit on their shoes, it's an event because like nigga, these cost us $1,000. Evan didn't skip a beat. He's helping me get the shit to wipe off my shoes. I don't even think I have wiped off your shoe. And then today he walks in with the same shoe but in a different color. So you're so rich
like them.
that you can afford to shit on expensive shit and not care.
Yo,
He got
it's just stuff, man.
one of in different colors, all the
stuff.
colors.
So Ashley pulls up to the house. Do you say, listen, I'm so rich that you need your own account? Or what is the conversation when you have that kind of money?
No, we talk. I don't know. We're not billionaires up in here, you know. We talk about everything because we have a family and we have to figure out how to, you know, take care of all that stuff. So all these conversations we've had, you know, and we talk about it and we make sure we're all, because you know we do like to spend money, so we've got to figure that out too.
Right,
we got kids and all.
Who
kinds
spends more?
Who do you think she spends more than I do?
I don't know. I like
She
your
definitely
style.
spends more than I do.
You know, you have nice shoes, so I don't know.
She spends more than I do. I buy her more gifts, but we, you know, one of the two.
But we were talking about it on an earlier show where we were talking about Cassie and Diddy splitting and saying, okay, like, what you gonna do for money now? At some point, if a rainy day ever happens, do you say, okay, I'm so rich that I have to keep my shit over, or do you commingle funds?
I have no idea what that is something I don't know.
Okay, I'll move on.
I'd like to try to take care of my teeth. You know, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. I've seen a lot of bad grills out there. But, you know, I brush my teeth 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, in between meals. And my hand hurts. I get a little lazy. You know, that's why I like this new joint I just got. It's called Quip. One of the most important things we do forget about is our mouth health. It's very, very important, okay? But let me tell you about Quip. Quip is a better electric toothbrush created by dentists and designers, okay? Somebody actually sat down, drew this thing out, blueprinted it out, and created this amazing electric toothbrush. Quip was designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and enjoyable. Now, the thing I love about Quip is it reminds you every 30 seconds on when to when to switch your size of brushing your teeth or brushing your gums. It's a pulsating vibrator. So every 30 seconds, you get to be reminded of when you need to go ahead and switch the side of your mouth. So outside of the 30-second pulse vibration reminders, it has a multi-use cover. It mounts to your mirror and it unmounts to slide over your bristles for on-the-go brushing. All right, Quip doesn't require a clunky charger and runs for 3 months on one charge, man. That's better than a Tesla, okay? So why do you love Quip? That's me. I love Quip because it's easy, it's affordable, it's enjoyable, and you can mount it on your mirror because I'm lazy and I don't like putting things in cups, okay? So that's why I love Quip. It's backed by 20,000 dentists and professionals. So you're looking at me like, Gio, how can I get Quip? How can I get an electric toothbrush that charges and stays charged for 3 months? Well, I'm about to tell you right now, Quip starts at just $25, okay? And if you go to getquip.com/unlock right now, you get your first refill pack for free with the Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/unlock. Get Quip.
Let me tell a funny story. Now I'm gonna go back to Portland. Let's stay in Portland for a minute. Okay, so we go to Portland. I'm gonna just
fun.
Can I tell a funny story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, at the point where you said you were focused on the music, and it makes sense now because out of all the places I've been to around the world, you found probably the spot with the best vibe, and it was Dig-a-Pony. I can't remember all the details, but it was like all Michael Jackson, Prince, like that whole era of music, and it was a bunch of white people and us in there, up in their party. But the thing about it is, so I'm known to have a little alcohol, and if something goes left, I act completely crazy. So it's me, Evan, Jill Marie Jones, and friends. We're having a good time. We're drinking. Evan goes outside to smoke a cigarette, and these people are following Evan around the whole night. I'm like, what the fuck are they following Evan for? But they're acting like they don't know who Evan is. So they finally get out there. He's smoking, they're smoking. They go, hey, man, you look like, is your mom down to Ross? I'm like, bro, we're not having this conversation. So we go inside. The dude takes our table. It's a big dude, too. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have to fight him. Evan parked around the corner. How are we going to get to the car?
We parked far.
Parked far. Like, that would have been my big ass running way down the street. So I go to pop off on dude, but Evan takes it all the way to the extreme. Like, Evan is the
smallest dude to us.
And Evan is like, motherfucker, he's trying to come out the table. I'm like, hold on, we can't do this. So now I'm the bodyguard, and Evan is on 10. But it just showed how protective you are of your friends. And even last night when we were talking about Jazz and Devon and all the different people, the people that we talked about all showed up. It's still the same people.
It's the same people, man. And even when I don't see people for a little bit, it's amazing how my friends are really my close friends, and I want them to win with me. I love working with them. They're the reason why we can do all the stuff we do. Again, they're also like can be babysitters and everything. Everybody helps out. We have like such a great crew,
We get back to the place where we're staying. We're staying at a secluded hotel way off in the cut. It's nothing but trees, black.
Oh my God, it was a scary night.
It was very scary. No security, nothing. We're in the woods. And as we pull up, there's a bunch of, our people, black folks, carrying a body out the hotel. And I'm thinking, they just killed this person.
Oh my God, what the hell?
Now, mind
swear
you,
it looked like a dead body.
In my mind, you're carrying a body. I'm with Jill and Evan, both recognizable. This is about to go left. And we're walking from way one end. So I'm trying to get Evan to hurry and walk. And so finally, Evan's checking on where's Jill at. And the people catch Evan. They drop the body and they come over and they're like, "Yo, you that kid from ATL?" So they start them.
And they look crazy. They look crazy.
Were they carrying a body?
To the black truck with the door open. So I'm thinking, the person was drunk probably. I don't know. Maybe dead or drunk. I don't know.
Hopefully.
We never really figured it out. That's the weird part.
So maybe you guys.
You don't even know. You could have just saw the after effects of a murder.
So they're like, "Evan, can we please get photos?" And I
was like, "Oh no."
No,
Taking pictures for murderers.
You handled it well. You were like, "You know what? Not a problem. I'm gonna get to everybody." I'm like, "No, we gotta go." They like, "Nah, nigga, we getting a photo." I'm like, "Okay."
I was like, "We're not about to be wrapped up in that bag too, bro." Let's take a photo.
There's no security. Then here comes Jill Marie Jones. I'm like, "Oh shit!" But mind you, this is back in the day, so girlfriends is still. I think had just come off.
Yeah.
So they see Jill. They go on. And then it becomes this big deal. So I'm running to find security. I go to get security. They come follow me inside. Finally, we get Evan to the room. We get everybody upstairs. And Evan has a wallet with all these fucking credit cards. I had never seen a metal credit card before. He has a fucking metal credit card, but no key to the fucking room. Yeah. So I got to go all the way back and get the key. And here comes Evan. I'm like, damn. I thought I was going to die that night, bro.
Yeah, me too. It was a strange night.
Okay, so how do you handle fame? That's an example of like the most extreme situation I've been in, uncomfortable with a super celebrity or super famous person. How do you deal with fame?
I don't know. It's not a bad thing to me. And I don't on what's, and also what scale. I think some people have to deal with it in a way that's really probably, aggressive. And I think women actually have to deal with it a little bit harder than men do too, because they just want to dive into everything the girls are doing. You know what I mean? But I think I don't know, man. It's a nice place to be because you being that people know you have a way that you can give good things to the world, and there's you have a voice and all that. But I don't know. I think the only time it's ever hard is with the kids. I think you want them to be okay and be able to have a fun time. Even with doing this show, like we had to be very specific about when the kids were there, and it was never about them, but they could pop in, But Jagger doesn't like when people take her photo and have the camera up, so she's like, no photo, you know what I'm saying? So like those kind of things. But other than that, I mean, it's not, it's a blessing, and you gotta remind yourself that even when those things are hard, that you're grateful for what it is.
Like there was a photo that just popped up of your mom at Apple. Does she just decide
she loves Apple?
No, but you guys are just going. Y'all just can't walk into the mall, so she'll just walk into an Apple. Do you have to think about where you're gonna go?
Yeah, from my mom, yeah, I'm sure. But my mom's like so on her own like thing. She just does her own thing. Like, you know what I mean?
When she showed up at the Abbey, she was in all the papers. It was like no one was expecting her to just show up to the Abbey, jam to her own music. And
it was her idea.
Oh, what?
That's hilarious.
It was her idea. She called me. She goes, "I'm going to the club. You want to come?" I was like, "Where?" She's like, "The Abbey." I was like, "Yeah, I'll go with you." She got a song out.
Yeah.
She twice went number one. The dance record, and we had a blast, man. She wouldn't stop dancing. I had to tell her. I was like, "I think we could go now. It's time."
So when you look at like the legends, so because of your mom, I'm sure you've met everybody. You've met Stevie Wonder, I'm sure, several times.
Yeah.
Stevie was just in Milan. You were in Milan Fashion Week. He was in Milan Fashion Week. We talked about it on the show. Why would Stevie sit in front row? Do you think that the people should have a little bit more discretion? Because Stevie didn't see what was happening.
He could feel it, man.
That's what. Okay, Keisha
Everybody
Cole was
said
here.
that. Everyone says that.
Keisha Cole said he was listening to the fashion.
Yeah.
Now you're saying he could feel the fashion. I'm gonna keep asking this.
I'm telling you though, I think he can, and he's social. Every time I've seen him, he's been social, like and he likes to be around people in the environment, and he takes everything in. So he's obviously got a reason. Mm-hmm.
So with Aretha passing recently, had you ever met Aretha?
I had never met Aretha. but my mom was, my mom loved her a lot, and my mom grew up down the street from her. My mom she was the only one with from what I remember, from my mom's told me that she had a beautiful tree on her property and in the projects, and my mom used to climb her tree, and they all went to church together. When Aretha got signed, my mom was like, "Oh, this is."
But she was on Motown. Aretha was on Motown.
Did Aretha go to Motown? I think she.
But that was back around the same era with your mom.
But she got signed she was like the first person that my mom knew to get signed.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? How does Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross grow up on the same? How does?
Pretty awesome.
Listen,
that's crazy.
That's an era where I was talking recently to a friend about music, and I'm just like, okay, I was watching YouTube. I was showing them Madonna's Vogue performance 1990 MTV Awards. Then I was showing them just some of the different Janet Jackson when she was on tour in Hawaii. And I look at musicians now. I feel like you could just with the digital download pop a single out, living my best life. You're on the charts. You're a star.
It's so different.
Versus back in the day when every single artist was an iconic artist.
Yeah.
Even Michael, Prince, John Bon Jovi,
everybody
genre. What do you think about music these days? Are you inspired these days to put out music given the current climate, or what do you think about it?
I mean, I think it's just a different time. I don't know if it's. There's so much out there now too, because again, you could just put music out. I think it's really nice though, because anybody who's creative has an opportunity to actually share it with people, which I don't think you could have done back in the day at all, and there were so very few at that time, at least that we knew of, what I do think though that I feel like is missing is there was such a camaraderie, I think, back in the day where artists would sing other people's songs. Everybody in Motown would sing everybody else's songs, helping the song become a hit. And everybody was supporting each other. It was like if one won, they all won. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like you see that as much. I think you see it a little bit in the rap world, a little more than even But you don't see that much.
The togetherness or the collaborative.
Yeah, the support, it's just, I felt like such a camaraderie back then, and everybody. If I bump into Mick Jagger or the Rolling Stones or anybody like that, and they all will have stories about mom and just all that stuff. It was like they were all together in it,
So speaking of that, and speaking of Milan Fashion Week, I did pull up the interview that you and Ashley did where they asked you if you were Team Cardi or Team Nicki. I didn't know Ashley was so controversial. Now it made me love her even more.
I don't know if she's controversial, but she probably would say I'm not in this at all.
No, they stopped you on the carpet and they said, "Are you Team Nicki or Team Cardi?" And she said, or who you like better or something. And she said, I like Cardi because she just seems nicer.
Yeah. I think, yeah, Cardi, everybody likes Cardi. I like Cardi. She's just got this honesty about her. I've actually never seen anybody in the spotlight like her. Where you
terms of being so relatable, or
where you can't deny it. She's just who she is, and it's a beautiful thing. And she comes off so humble, and she's so I don't know. I'm a fan of hers too. I'm a fan of the music, but I'm also just a fan of hers. I think she's got a special thing, and it's not. I know people talk about these fights and things like that, but I don't feel a negative energy from her at all. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think she's great.
So does your mom know about today's artists? Does she know? She don't know Lil Uzi Vert. I'm sure she's not listening to Uzi Vert. But is mom's bumping Bodak Yellow? Does she know Cardi?
She randomly will hit me up and she knows these. She'll know this stuff. You know what I mean? She'll know some of it, but I'm positive. I'm positive she knows Cardi B. She probably thinks Cardi B is great. But she
don't have Playboy Cardi.
I don't. We don't really have those. We don't really have those conversations. If she'll randomly find somebody that she loves their voice and send it to me, or somebody that inspires her, that she thinks has something special. And I know she's been talking about doing music right now. So there's, I'm sure she's looking at certain artists. I don't know if she's looking at much rap artists, but you never know.
Listen, if your mother comes out with a song with Lil Uzi, I'm gonna create some type of support council. We're gonna have a conversation. Because I saw Barbara Streisand recently doing an interview where she was talking about this new. What's the movie that's out right now with Lady Gaga?
A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born. And you look at somebody as iconic as that, and you just we want you to continue to be the trophy of real shit.
Yeah.
Because there's so much fake shit out here.
Yes.
All right, so you're married now. It's so crazy thinking of you being married with kid.
Yeah.
Which means you have to now be responsible. Because I liked Fun, Reckless.
Well, with like 2 kids. I have my stepson and my kid too.
You, me, Jill, a trampoline, liquor, feed house. It just was nothing but in Dallas, Austin, Reckless
It was good
fun.
times. Good times.
Tony De Niro. Shout out to Tony De Niro.
Tony De Niro. He was there last night.
I saw him sitting in the cut with another model. Some things don't never change.
No, he's good.
So you like having responsibilities now?
Oh man, I love it so much more. Than being my old wild self. I mean, there's
Is that Evan gone?
No, man, I have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like we have fun. Like, we have a good time.
Okay.
That never changes. But no, man, it's so much better. I love waking up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of my family and the whole thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. There's nothing like it. I really, and that's also why, we wanted to make this music, because I do feel like I was unaware of how great that would feel, until it actually happened.
To do a song with your wife?
No, to be in love and to have a family.
Yeah.
And so how do you co-parent? Because you
Oh yeah, with
because she has a child from
with Pete.
Yeah.
We incredible. Thank God. I mean, we have a great relationship, and he's an amazing father. And he's it just worked. I can't imagine what it would be like if it didn't work out, because it would be really tough. You know what I mean? And Bronx is so amazing, and known him since he was 4 now, and he's just an incredible kid. And I think that's a test to both Ashley and Pete. And so for me, it's like, obviously he's the father, and I'm his best buddy or whatever he needs, but we have a great relationship.
But do you have to set boundaries, like don't come to my house past 5 p.m., call ahead?
No.
No,
it was very comfortable.
But you're easy breezy though. So I mean, you're not like
Yeah, and he's got a beautiful family. He just had, he's just had another kid, and they're great. They're close friends,
So I never asked this question, and people are gonna be like, well, if y'all are friends, why you never asked? Because I don't pry in my friends' lives. But how did you all even fall in love? Like, where did that come from?
Oh man, it was crazy. We had bumped into each other a few times, but we bumped into each other at this friends of our house, James's, at a party that actually Tony brought me to. And she kind of came up to me trying to dance with me. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh, I saw this on the show.
Yeah,
I actually watched the show with my dog.
Yeah. Really? I love that. So we actually did. We had like somewhat of because I dance, people don't know. But we had like a little.
You're not break dancing.
No, it wasn't like flipping on the ground. No. But I was doing like,
You were grooving.
I was grooving,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it was good. And then I knew her friend Stephanie through Tony, and I was like, hey, would you guys want to come back to the studio? We're going to go back to De Niro's studio. We went back to the studio, and we were kind of just listening to music all night. We're making out. And we did. I said this before. We were like dry humping. Nothing else happened. But it was great, though. It was amazing.
What is adult dry humping?
And then I don't know. I fell asleep and she was gone. So that's how it happened. I was trying to get a number, and then Stephanie was like, "No, you're not a good dude. You're not getting that number, basically." And I was like, "Well, that's ridiculous." And then some time went by, and I bumped into her at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Again, I was kind of in a wild state. Not too wild, but whatever. And I went up to her, and she was with Bronx, and I was trying everything I could, and I just kind of was like, I think it's so sexy that you're a mother.
What?
So sexy that you're
That's
what?
a unique.
mother.
That's a unique pickup line.
I don't know. It just
But was
came
it
out.
sexy to you, the idea that she was a mom, like a cool?
Yes, I did. No, I did. I thought it was amazing that she was like this woman who had a child, and she was
And still fly.
yeah, all that. And again, it was kind of like a moment, but I think she was a little bit like, wow, this guy's a little crazy or weird. And her mom was like, hey, that guy seems like he really likes you. And then pan to a little bit back, a little ways, a little forward. I was somewhere, and her friend pulled by Cabo Cantina, and she yelled out the window, and she was like, hey, Evan. And she put me on the phone with Ashley, and she was like, come over. And I came over, and she was kind of, there was a guy there. I don't know if she was like talking to him or not, but I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. But I could tell she was wanting me to be there. But I was like, maybe I should head out. And when I head out, she ran out to the car, and she was like, he's not going to be here. Come back tomorrow. We never left each other's side after that.
And so you knew early on, like, this was going to be something serious.
Yeah, I always could tell. And I think she could too. I think she was a little concerned about whether or not I was ready for something like that.
Mm-hmm. But did she meet the Evan that I knew?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So how did she know in the, okay, so for people, what does that mean? Evan is, you're an electric ball of fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know when waking up and going to sleep is. It's like just a continuum of reckless fun.
Yeah.
By the way, you're so fucking nasty on the show, Jazz.
It's so true.
You know, I was saying to this, I had Saranis Jackson here from Insecure the other day, and we were talking about like shows, and I try not to watch too much TV because I get so consumed with it to where I would want to watch all the time. But I did plug into your show just to kind of see what's going on because you're too busy for hanging out these days. But when I saw it, I was just like, okay, she had to not have met the Evan that I know. But if she did, do you feel like she was a part of helping you grow out of that stage?
100%. 100%. But she also liked that side of it. We still have like, we still
It's like Halloween with you and Zac Efron.
Yeah, oh my God. That was good.
I mean, like Halloween's coming up. I was driving by that street, Sunset, I don't want to say Sunset Tower, but whatever street that was.
Yeah.
I will never forget the Halloween parties you guys used to throw. I think you were Robin or some. I don't even remember the costume, but it was fun.
We had a great time. We have great, and we still do. Like we have a lot of fun, and just because we have kids now, it doesn't mean we're not young and we don't turn up.
Yeah.
Right.
But the fun changed because you have to, you got to wake up in the morning and take care of the kids, and there's a whole, that whole thing. But I was always ready for that. I just had no reason for that. Do you know what I mean? I think I just there was nothing that made me want to be like that in my life yet, and she was that reason, but she likes that side of me. She likes that I'm fun. She likes my friends. She likes that, and I think that's what made it so great too. Like we have a great time together. And she's wild, Joe. She may pretend she's not.
So when they came to you guys with the idea of the TV show,
they didn't come to us.
Oh, so how did that happen?
we actually Jesse Terrero and myself and Ashley, we were working on the album, and I asked him to have some of his camera guys come film us in the studio, and we never knew it was actually going to turn into what it actually ended up being. But in the process of it, a lot of what he was filming was kind of what we ended up watching was outside of the studio talking about the music and also just kind of talking shit and having a good time. And he was like, maybe there's something here that we could do something around this. And the music, was the center of all of it because we wanted a way to document it and not have to go through a major label and do all that kind of stuff and own our music. So what we did was we started filming it, and then basically Jesse was like, look, man, it's great, but people are going to get bored watching you in the studio all the time, And Ashley, they haven't seen Ashley in a long time, and I feel like you guys have to kind of give a little bit of yourself and show the world kind of who you are, because
that was the part that surprised me, because as private as you and your family are, and knowing her, I mean, her sister had been on a reality show, and she does.
She did a reality show.
And so did she? Yeah.
No, but I mean, she knows now that tuna fish is not the chicken this season.
Oh, Jessica, yeah.
Okay,
dude, but the stuff, those stuff that's genius.
No, I mean, it's brilliant.
It's genius.
It's brilliant. Okay, so I was surprised to see you on reality TV because I was just like, there's no way he's.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
me too. Both of us actually. In the process of it, and we were very specific with E as well. We were like, look, we want to make a documentary, basically a docuseries, and we're fine to show our lives, but we want it to look a certain way. We hired all the people from the producers that we produced it with, Citizen Jones, who've only done documentary and film, so we wanted to look a certain way. We didn't want it to be the norm, and we didn't want to deal in the negative because it's just not true, and we didn't want fabricated stuff. We didn't want to just create stuff to so right. That was a kind of hard thing to get around, but E was so supportive of that, which was interesting. And so they were just really the right place to go. But the beginning part was frightening, even though we were producing it and everything like that. Sharing your lives, it was a thing. But I feel like you kind of, in some way, people love the music, but they want to understand where it all comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of what it was, and we actually I love it now. I love what it is, because my kids get to watch that one day, and the whole thing when they're older, it's like we got to document a really special part in our lives. I mean, how many times do you get to make a duet album with your wife?
So was there ever a point where you were like, okay, we're not gonna film that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was that?
Mostly with the kids.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there was ideas that were thrown out there that I was like, really? Never. But there was, yeah, I mean, there was a few things. I mean, We let them be in there pretty much all the time. We like not they weren't in there. We would shoot like about 3 or 4 things a day, 4 or 5 things a day. But they were there. I mean, I talked about my father and I let them in, you know, because I was like, first of all, if you don't let them in, then there's no point doing the show because people are gonna be like, well, we didn't get to see anything.
So was that where you first decided to talk about your father passing?
No, that was the first time I've climbed since my father
For the mountain
climbing.
climbing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. It was a kind of tough moment to kind of dive into. It's interesting not playing a role and just playing yourself. Even with music, I feel like it's weird because you get to hide behind the character, and when you're actually telling your story or even giving your music, you're opening the world to kind of judge you, you know, and you don't have to do that in film, you know.
So how old were you when he passed away?
I was, I think, 15. I think about 15.
15. And so
14.
How did you process that? I mean, because 14.
To
know you is to know you being very normal. And having gone through a death, like a close person, my brother getting murdered, I mean, I know the craziness I went through, but how were you able to process it and grow through it, and how did it shape who you are now?
I think I still am. I don't think it's that. I always tell people I don't think that ever goes away. I think you get, you know, better at it. But I think there's moments that come up, just like when we were shooting, you know, I wish my daughter was able to meet my father. Those kind of things. Mm-hmm. When you start having important moments in your life, that's, I think, when it's harder to deal with, you know. And you know, me learning since I was young then to like start learning about my father and understanding him more as I get older, you know. It's like I wish I was able to have these conversations with him now. I think those are the things that are kind of more hard to get through, you know. So
do you think you've become the person your parents wanted you to be?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I know my mom's super proud. I can't say for my father, but I do think so.
And you're like a real mama's boy too.
Yeah, super. Yeah.
So are you closer to? I mean, you clearly have a close, affectionate relationship with Tracy, but your other siblings, are you closer to all equally, or are you just more closer to Tracy?
All equally. I think all equally for sure. I think the reason why me and Tracy may be on the phone the most is because we're also in the same industry. You know, and even when I was just starting out, she took me to my first acting class, and I came out here and stayed with her, and I told Mom that I was allowed to live with her, which wasn't true. I was like, but she's just fine. Yeah. She totally didn't, you know. And so she's always just been that kind of person. But all of them, we're all super close. And my brother Ross is like,
oh yeah, Ross.
He's like me. I mean, we're 10 months different. My mom had us at 45 back to back, 10 months different. And that's like I always used to get scared taking shots. He would get a shot for me, just like a fake shot to do, just like, he was like that guy. He's like the super nice.
So Evan says, we're opening up a club. You know, we're opening up a club, Warwick. And you still own Warwick?
Yeah.
Okay, so before I had any clout, I used to go and drop your name every time. I'm like, Evan's my friend, make a phone call. They wouldn't make the phone call, they would just let me in. But now I'm good. But like, that's probably one of the sexiest clubs in LA. And
best looking for sure.
You haven't really had to do a lot of remodeling. It's still been like as popping and sexy. Well, how did the vibe get created where it's just, if you've never been to Warwick, you have to go. If you can get in. If you can't, just drop it back.
Yeah. They were like, oh man, we don't want to get in trouble. We'll let you in. Yeah. Sylvan is the reason why I think Sylvan and JT, Sylvan Baton are definitely the reasons why, and my brother as well, as the reasons why this place is so great. I think they're so good at taking care of people. I remember when they were doing Ledoux, that was when I was like, man, these guys are amazing.
Damn.
That was the best time ever.
If you don't know about Ledoux, you did not come to Hollywood in time. You did not come to
Hollywood in time. It was amazing. That was like our Studio 54.
Remember White Lotus?
Yeah.
Across the street. I mean, Garden of Eden. That was the era when Hollywood
Element was right back there too.
Popping.
I was underage in there too.
Yeah, Element though. Somebody got killed out there.
All the time. It got bad.
It was bad.
It got bad.
But yeah, Ledoux. Wow. Okay, so yeah, the vibe at Warwick.
So Warwick, yeah. So although the bones always stay the same in there, I think it's like every 6 months, we do renovate it with different colors and things like that, and inspirations and artwork. Like it might have some club that we really like in Paris or a hotel somewhere, and we'll switch the vibe out, which I think is cool because I think people get bored of the same thing all the time. Mm-hmm. But we wanted a place that you could go there during the day and be like, man, this is a beautiful spot. And you know, I always remember the club in New York called Rose Bar, where, you know, you'd be sitting at this place in the Gramercy Park Hotel, and Mick Jagger would be there, and you know, all ages, because it was that kind of club where you didn't have to just be like in Vegas. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we wanted that, where it could be like just a sexy groan, and and I think that people just like it.
So you and Ashley's song Paris, how did that come about?
Paris, we did with Austin Brown and Brian London, and we were actually just having fun in the studio, and that song we somehow it came up. We were talking earlier in the day about how much we loved this Paris trip that we took. That when I was shooting Hunger Games, we were there for a month, and I had rented this apartment, this 2-story apartment, which was super sexy, but it was up on the 7th floor, and there was no elevator. And with all our bags, it was a shit show trying to get out. But it was just a real sexy trip. I mean, I can't even jump into the details, but it was.
Wait, was this old? This was young. This Evan or the previous Evan?
Oh no, this was previous / this Evan.
Okay.
But it was definitely previous Evan, because we were just like, I just asked her to marry me, but we were kind of like running around being kind of wild, and it was just an amazing trip. Oh my God, it was amazing. Like and Dallas Austin somehow showed up out there. Like it turned into a thing.
So back up. So you and Dallas Austin are really close, and then you played Dallas Austin. How was it playing somebody that was a friend?
Well, that was kind of weird too. I was in the studio with Dallas, and somebody called him, and they're like, they're doing a TLC movie. Who do you think should play you? They're like, we really would love it to be Evan Ross. He was like, he's sitting right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll do it. I was like, it's Dallas.
And how was that experience?
It was fun, man. Keke Palmer's amazing.
Super talented.
Super talented. She's a ball of energy. I've never seen anything quite like it. I was like, is this all the time?
And it's nonstop.
It's nonstop. She's like, well, you're making fun of me. I'm like, I'm not making fun of you.
It's what the old Evan Ross was.
No, but she's different, because I was jumping around, but I wasn't like.
You're chill.
But no, she's killing it, and she's brilliant. I mean, there's like, she walks on set and she's just off the charts. So like, yeah, well, we had a great time. Plus, I got to be working with Dallas, and Chili was there all the time. It was cool.
Okay, so
Chili's kind of strict. I didn't know she was like
she's a mother.
I don't even like talking about cigarettes because I don't think they're a good thing. But there's been times. So I was smoking, and she was like, "Don't smoke. It's a horrible thing to do."
She's a mother.
She was so mad though. I feel like I didn't see her coming. She like ran behind me and like threw it out of my mouth somewhere.
Yeah, Chili's definitely like a mom. So when I first started, we have a texting relationship. We've never met yet, but we text and whatever. When I first started texting her, it was a very, very thorough. I mean, she talks like a mom, and then she ends with, "Can you please post my son's song?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." She's cool. All right, so what have you not? I mean, because you are so rich, you can decide what you're gonna do and not do. What do you want to do next?
It's nothing to do with having money ever.
No, but money does. I'm not saying it has anything to do with money, but when you have a lot of money, you can say, "I'm not doing that."
Well, there's. I think you got to do that in general, because I think you'll get stuck doing everything, and that's not a great thing.
That's a good point.
I think there's a movie project that I've been trying to create with Tony Kaye, who did American History X, that we've been trying to do for a while.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, he's brilliant, and there's a movie that we've been trying to put together. That's something that is in the works, and then
put together from you in front of the camera or behind the camera or both?
On the camera and behind.
So you'd be both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Producing, but not directing. That sounds really a lot for in where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to work on. Well, first we're still doing some more music, both me and Ashley, and then Ashley's going to work on her album, and I'm going to work on mine too, probably at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring it back to Ashley and Evan second season?
Maybe. We're still figuring it out. We're going to decide if it works. But I mean, we had such a good time. If the schedule and it makes sense, then yeah. Like again, just like with this show, there was a purpose behind it. It wasn't just to watch me and Ashley hang out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It has to have a reason. So if it's like being around the album was a really special thing, and maybe if it could follow us on this tour that we're going to start in January, that could be really cool. So we just got to look into what it would be.
So I saw.
We're going on tour in January.
Before we get to tour, I did see that post yesterday. I didn't see the entire season. I saw Tracy was on the show, and I saw your conversation with Tracy. Did your mom ever make it on the show?
Yeah, Mom was on the first episode.
She was.
It was supposed to be 2 episodes. They made it to 1. Yeah, so it was 2 episodes turned into 1.
So yeah, I need to go back and watch that episode. I didn't see the earlier.
It was amazing. Yeah.
And so, how did you get her to agree to do reality television? I mean, besides it's her son.
Well, because she knew what we were trying to make. I got to show her what we were doing and how we were trying to do it and what it was about. And I don't think Mom, she'll probably still, she calls it a docuseries, and she'll say, it it has to just make sense. And she knew it was around love, and she loves it now. She was like, it's different from what's on TV.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It's different than Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, although I love that show. I love watching it.
Everybody loves a train wreck. But no, I mean, it's definitely not that. Because, the Bobby and Whitney show changed a lot of people's perception of Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Because I was just way out there. All right, so you're going on tour, and there's how many days? It looked like about 30.
No, we're doing it in, I think, 2 pieces, but right now for sure is we've got 11 set up, and we're deciding on the rest.
Okay, who created the artwork? Is that you, or you have your team?
What's that photo of us two?
Yeah.
That was shot by Amanda Demi. She's amazing.
No, it looked dope. So you guys are going to go on tour. And then there's the tour. You're going to expand the tour.
Well, the plan is no matter what we do, especially since we're doing it together, we have to do it in somewhat pieces. We're going to have our kids on with us as much as possible, and Bronx has schools, so we want to make sure whatever it is that we do at a certain time, and then have some time to be with the kids and make sure that school's going good and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming up here and giving us the time to talk, and we could go on and on for days. And I'm trying to be very careful of all the stories in the past because we had a lot of fun. Like the time I don't think Jazz was there, but we were on the patio in the house, and Evan ran into the house, but the screen was closed, and you hit the screen
so hard.
Yeah, those are fun times.
Those are fun. Well, that wasn't that fun for me, but that was fun.
Fun for all of us. That shit was hilarious.
That's happened to me more than once, by the way.
Well, listen, thanks for coming up here, and I'm gonna make sure I got to get you and Cardi together.
I would love to. I think she's amazing.
But if y'all do any music, I need 10%.
I'm with that all day long.
All right, cool. We out of here. Peace.